Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Svärd, and I work as a staff data scientist at Schibsted Media Group. I currently work in the natural language processing team in the data organization in Schibsted Products Technology. And we use machine learning and data science to better understand, process, and generate natural language. For instance, our team builds components and services for NLP pre-processing and also topic modeling and automatic tagging of content and things like that. Of course, we also do deep learning to expose more AI features like chatbots and automatic reply in our chat interfaces. Schibsted is currently undergoing a transformation. We are not by any means done, but we have gotten started. We are transforming ourselves from like a traditional media company to a company powered by technology and data. Data and data science has been a priority since day one, and I'm very delighted to be here today to share some findings and takeaways that we have gained. My perspective is mostly operational and from someone that just wants to be impactful, efficient, and possibly happy in times of big change. So, those of you from Sweden may know these companies. But what is probably less known is that Schibsted also owns and operates same and different kind of companies in other countries. So in total, we operate in about 30 countries. We have around 200 million users per month, which boils down to around 20 billion page views per month, or to put it differently, 700 million events collected per day. As an organization, we have around 7,000 employees around different areas. So we're operating in three different kind of areas. We have media houses with the biggest newspapers. We have marketplaces, and we have growth companies, which also holds like personal finance and fintech companies. One of the outcomes of the transformation that I talked about earlier is Schibsted Products and Technology, which is a global technology division tasked to create reusable platforms used by the end companies. The focus is, of course, building platforms for foremost publishing in marketplaces, and the most vital components is around identity and payment. In the bottom left corner here, you have the data and analytics team. We are around 100 plus people today, with data scientists, data analysts, and data and software engineers. We work in three main areas, which are insights with traditional BI and advanced analytics across all companies and markets. We also have a cognition team, which holds the data platform, but also teams for natural language processing and image recognition. We also have relevance, which search and discovery, personalization, and user modeling. So that was a very brief snapshot of where we are today. So I will now rewind a bit and tell you about why and how we ended up here. And then I will move on to present some findings. And finally, my key takeaways for you. So, Schibsted's journey to digital started about 5 and 6 years ago. As a consequence of a changed reading behavior, we have seen a decline in print for quite some time. What was troublesome, though, was that the pace was picking up. Also, we saw that our main source of revenue, ads, was under heavy attack from the largest tech giants like Google and Facebook. And this was also picking up. Finally, we saw a lot of new and hungry players in the marketplace segment, where those giants like Blocket and Finn has been fairly unthreatened for quite some time. Now new players entered with totally different operating models. So we needed to do something. So the question was not about if, rather how, and if we can do it fast enough. So regarding the how, it mainly evolved around technology and data. So we saw that we needed to take technology into the core of our business, and it could not remain as an extension of IT anymore. Also, data and analytics. So we needed to take control of our own data and make the most out of it. And that spans everything from data collection to insights, analytics, and also data-driven products. Right. Also, we needed to leverage the economy of scale and reduce duplication and develop common technical platforms to scale out to the different properties. Schibsted is not new to disruption and change. So it basically started 175 years ago when this guy here lost his printing contract and started what came to be Aftenposten. So, I was hired into Schibsted back in 2013 and hired into a very small team of data scientists under the strategy department. We were very few of us, and we focused on recommendations, some propensity modeling, like predictive churn, and also user insights in a very limited fashion. We worked embedded in close cooperation with local companies and experts. And the main outcome of our work was basically proof of concepts, presentation material, and facilitation of workshop and things like that. As the team grew, we got a new manager from Twitter. We moved into a more centralized team and still focused on personalization, but also started to focus on user modeling for ad targeting and some cross-market advanced analytics. At this point, we also pulled in a lot of engineers, both software and data engineers, and started to slowly shift into like a product building mode. That trend has continued, and now we are organized into platform and components. And we're starting to be very well fit for building data-driven products. So what are the findings that we can pull out of this? So, first of all, we have tried a few different ways of operating our data scientists and data science teams. So, first of all, it's very clear that the operating mode need to be adapted to the desired outcome of the team and the people, but also the state and the shape of the organization that you operate in. So some of the things that we have learned and tried out is that a distributed model where you have people embedded in other teams works very well for data analysis teams, which are focused on delivering insights and decision support. This enables very close collaboration with stakeholders, which is very good for that kind of work. We have also tried the centralized approach, and we have found that it works pretty fine for data product development, where you have multiple stakeholders across the company, and you are delivering global components or global data sets to be used everywhere. This model works very good for us when we have clear end-to-end responsibility of those teams. One other thing that we have learned, which has been touched upon earlier today, that there are no unicorns. or at least there are very few of them. So you often see a description of data scientist as something on the left. But the fact is, as most of you know, that first of all, you can rarely balance all those traits into one person. And secondly, and I think that's even more important, even if you happen to find one of those persons, preferences play in. So even though you are skilled for, say, writing production pipeline for doing machine learning models, you may want to do something else. So preferences play a lot. So this is another kind of try to characterize a data scientist. And well, it's not exactly right, but it's more right than a unicorn. So, and this has been said today by the data guys again, that instead of trying to find a set of rare unicorns, you should focus on building up a team with different capabilities. So a team that is set up for success typically contains both engineers, more research or data experimenting people, but also data analysts and data scientists that wants to build product. And I personally like this division of data scientists into type E and type B types. So where A stands for analysis, where these people typically see their end goal of delivering insights and presentation material and are happy doing kind of one-off things. Whereas you have the type B, and they typically want to build the whole product and be part of that team. In practice, however, people often need to play different roles in a team over time. And also about preferences, which I touched upon earlier. One reflection also is that the optimal role may be conditioned on the mode of operation that the team has. So if you have an insights team which works in an embedded setting, you may want people that wants to do analysis. Whereas if you're a centralized team building data products, you probably want people that wants to do that. So, finally, I will go over 3 key points, which I personally think is very important. So the first one is about data. And data should be given the attention that it requires, because it's important. So it's very important to centralize the collection and storage of data, and to democratize the access and usage of data to be able to really fast go from idea to a prototype and further to a real data product. Secondly, we should not forget about low-hanging fruits. So we've seen a lot of cases where even the simplest model or simplest insight can make a lot of difference. So sometimes it's just enough to get the right people in a room, the right data, and hack away. And you can come up with insights that can be even more important that a dedicated team can come up with. Finally, I want to stress that teams with end-to-end responsibility is something to desire for. So this simplifies the requirement definition. Of course, it also enables the incremental improvements, because you can kind of iterate on what you do with the whole team. But also, it increases the overall speed and quality. And one typical example here is that you have a team that are tasked to build like some kind of predictive model. So instead of having one team responsible for prototyping the model and handing that over to another team for doing the actual deployment of the model, we should have a team responsible for everything end to end. We've seen that it makes a lot of sense in a lot of cases. So, some takeaways from me, just some summarization of my presentation is that, first of all, you should adapt the operating model to the organization and the desired outcome of your team. Secondly, you should get good people, of course, but remember that data science is a very broad spectrum and requires a team of people. Third, I want to stress that you should give data the desired attention. You should not forget low-hanging fruits and strive for end-to-end responsibility of teams. So I can leave no guarantees, but if you get these in place, I'm pretty sure that you will get closer to a place where data scientists are impactful, efficient, and happy. That's all. Thank you.